Tired of acid in your water, going snorkeling and seeing no fish?
What about the dead-looking coral reefs?
And what about the disappearing algae, the organisms with no shells?
We don't know about you guys, but we're tired of it.
These are all the result of ocean acidification. Ocean acidification is the reduction of pH in the ocean caused primarily by the uptake of carbon dioxide from the atmosphere.
When carbon dioxide is absorbed by the seawater, a series of chemical reactions occur, resulting in the increased concentration of hydrogen ions and a decreased concentration of carbonate ions.
These carbonate ions are important building blocks of ocean structures, such as seashells and coral skeletons. Without these ions, calcifying organisms, oysters, clams, deep-sea corals, and many more have a hard time building and maintaining shells.
The decrease of pH in the ocean also causes the decrease of phytoplankton, which provide about half the Earth's oxygen and food for many of the fish species that humans rely on the most. By affecting the oceanic food chain, the terrestrial food chain is also affected, thus directly impacting humans.
Approximately 3 billion people in the world rely on fish as their primary source of protein, while many of the world's economies depend on fishing. And since the Industrial Revolution, the pH of the ocean waters has fallen by 0.1 pH units, which converts to a 30% increase in acidity. Scientists are estimating an increase of acidity of 150% by the end of the century.
The decrease in pH is caused by many factors, but the main factor is the release of carbon dioxide due to human behavior. Deforestation, inefficient transportation, and companies burning large amounts of fossil fuels are the biggest contributors to the issue.
One way to reduce the production of carbon dioxide is to reduce the burning of fossil fuels. This can be done by advocating for renewable energy sources such as wind, solar, and hydropower. Although renewable energy has low-cost operation and stable energy prices, its high development cost requires large areas designated for energy farms, and it also is highly dependent on weather and cannot produce energy in large quantities.
A second existing solution to reduce carbon dioxide emissions is to decrease meat consumption and to eat locally grown and produced foods. By doing this, we can reduce the fossil fuels released from factory farming and those released by transportation of food that is grown and produced far away. However, purchasing locally grown food can be quite pricey and is nearly impossible to convince the entire human population to stop eating meat due to personal preference and traditional beliefs.
Another major way to reduce carbon emissions is to significantly decrease deforestation rates. By cutting down trees in mass quantities, large amounts of carbon dioxide remain in the atmosphere. Slash and burn methods also produce more carbon dioxide emissions. We are actively trying to reduce deforestation, but there are several reasons why we cannot completely cut it out, including the loss of jobs, land area, and materials.
We,
Lily,
Jackie,
and Nate, the mighty Chondrias, have created a possible solution to stop the destruction of the world.
the neutralizer,
is a solar-powered buoy that detects a decrease of the pH of the ocean. Once it detects the ocean becoming more acidic, the neutralizer releases sodium hydroxide, which will act as an added base to result in an overall more basic environment.
The neutralizer will be designed using a thick, brightly colored recycled plastic with a bright light, limiting costs and warding off ships and boats from damaging the buoys. A 200-meter enclosed tube made of the same material will be attached to the bottom of the buoy. The tube will have a pH sensors every 10 meters with small splits going down the tube as well.
When the pH sensors detect a drop of 0.05 pH units, the slits in the tube will release sodium hydroxide that is already dissolved in water, while taking in more ocean water to begin dissolving more sodium hydroxide for later release, making nearby water more basic and phytoplankton happy.
Our targeted areas are oceans that neighbor countries like the US, Russia, Saudi Arabia, and China because they are the top 4 carbon-emitting countries. We also hope to implement them around coral reefs and algae bloom locations. Once produced, the neutralizers will be located every 25 cubic miles within these areas.
The neutralizer is an effective product that will actively combat the major issue of rising acidity levels in the ocean.
With your support, we can help make it a reality and end world destruction.